I'm Bambi Francisco with Vader News, the network for innovators, and I'm speaking with Steve Viciani. He is the CEO and founder of Power.com, and we're going to talk about the evolution of social networks.
Thank you, Bambi.
Steve, you get to see the aggregation of all of this social networking activity.
Yes.
From the 5 million users that you have. So what kind of behavior are you seeing?
Well, I think that the two things that users seem to do most is send a lot of messages and
across networks?
I think sending messages, leaving messages on people's pages. We refer to guest book messages. Is probably one of the most common activities on Facebook. That's the wall. On Orkut, they call those scraps. And the second thing is they just do a lot of stuff with photos. I mean, people are moving photos, looking for photos with themselves on it, and so we've tried to create a lot of tools to help users move photos more easily and send messages more easily.
I know it's early because now you have Facebook and MySpace, Hi5, and Orkut, of course, but do you find that they spend more time on one social network than the other?
Well, I think people typically spend most of their time on one social network, and in fact, what they do is, in the case of MySpace and Facebook, I think people definitely use one more than the other, and sometimes use the other one as kind of a secondary place to keep it updated.
So what's the purpose of one and the purpose of the other?
Well, I think that the other thing is that social networks often have different reasons that you use them. You use LinkedIn to manage your professional life, and it's very limited, and you don't want to be putting photos of your personal life on there. You don't want to be mixing comments among all your more casual comments. It's a much more formal environment. MySpace people tend to use primarily to find musicians, to find new and exciting things. So it's more entertainment. And I think Facebook tends to be kind of a hybrid, but it tends to be more focused on finding my close network of personal friends and maybe my closer professional contacts that are kind of a mix of friends, and allowing me to create kind of manage my personal network.
Some other sites have been trying to simplify social networking. My Life Brand, Spokeo, Profile Linker, Loopster. Where did they go wrong, or where did they stop, and where are you taking it?
I believe what most of these sites are often trying to do is create a new site where you aggregate all your information. And what Power is not trying to do is not trying to create a new website. We want users to continue using their social networks that they use. They already know how to use them. They come back and spend 30, 40, 50 minutes every day on these sites. So in the case of Power, we let the users go surf the sites they use, but are able to provide the ability to synchronize content, synchronize friends, other functionality while they use their existing sites. And that's actually the reason why our users are so active, is that they immediately know what to do because we drop them into their existing sites. Right. We don't try to give them a new site. What's
been the biggest change in social networking in the last 5 years? Perhaps it is this aggregation of different sites, like FriendFeed is doing a great job doing that.
Correct.
What do you think?
Well, I think the biggest trend, and this is what we've seen in the news and the media, is this idea that your content is not owned by one site. Your content is the property of the user. Your friends are the property of the user. And wherever you go, those should be with you. If you have a new friend on one site, that friend should be with you wherever you go.
Right.
You shouldn't have to invite that friend to every site. You shouldn't have to go and take your photo and copy it on every site.
Right.
Everything should be available
Some people
everywhere.
say that they want all of that on their blog.
Yeah.
Everything. If they own it, it should be on their blog. What do you
Correct.
think?
Well, your blogs is just a form of content. So we say that your content, your friends, your content, your friends, and your messages should be accessible anywhere, and it shouldn't be behind walled gardens. And what we are doing is allowing the users to tear down those walls instead of waiting for all the sites to get together and break down all these walls.
And you will be adding Facebook Connect and LinkedIn.
Whatever initiatives already exist, we include in Power. Power is not replacing Facebook Connect or Google Connect. What we're focused on is how to provide these things to the user with the best experience, so the user doesn't have to get bogged down in trying to understand these concepts.
Okay, Steve Vachani, thank you so much for the multiple interviews. I've been
Thank you.
speaking with Steve Vachani, who's the CEO and founder of Power.com. I'm Bambi Francisco.